evening. This is Brian Downing from quantlabs.net. Going to talk about a very a typical predicament that we can all get caught up in. And let me just give you some background here. Okay, so today we are going to look at coin market cap. Here are the typical profit and loss in the 24-hour change. Quite a bit of green over the last 24 hours. I just wanted to show you the script that you may know called risk on 2. So let that run. And typically what we got here are the various big crypto coins. Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum, Classic, and Ethereum, or Ether. So you can see the moves here are quite big percentage, and that's over the last 3 to 6 hours. It's pretty strong. So I want to give you another example of what you could experience. So here I ran this a few hours ago. It's nowhere as strong as it is now. You can compare Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. It's almost double. And this is very, very typical on the typical moves that you would see intraday with cryptocurrency. So then that leads me to the latest P&L of my current running strategy. So here we have Ripple, Bitcoin, Ripple against Ethereum. So here's a chart. You can see there's quite a bit of a move here that probably my system caught. But somewhere along the way, it dumped the trade. And you can see the loss collectively between Ripple, Bitcoin, Ripple, Ether is probably over 1%. That's just in a very quick move. And then when you look, I've just created a new script. What it will do is it will combine, because this is an ongoing strategy now. I have my strategy where it will measure if it's going to pause the strategy or not, where it's too much loss, or it's meet a period daily target. So I'm still trying to determine that. We have our risk that I've shown before. It's full on risk, meaning it's in full aggressive mode. We have our typical, let me see, I'm going to reload. Okay, so now it looks like it's gone into sleeping mode. Nope. But yeah, I can show you what it does here. Okay, so we have various log files. Here's the latest watch list log. I'm not sure how many pairs it's been watching, but at the end of the day, we started up the system, or it woke up, and it's now 17:30. So 2 hours ago, it took these two positions, took collectively these two losses of rate of change percentage. Between the two, it's easily roughly 1%. So I have a spreadsheet here that generates all of the available positions starting 2 days ago so today is September 20th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, it looks like it started up yesterday. Actually, combined, it's right here. So it's over the last 3 days, and it can measure the total amount of loss per day, or gain or profit loss for the day. So let me just show you. Let's get the latest data here. Python, it's called P&L archive. And let it do its thing. It's pretty quick. So I'll reload that file. So we need to look for it, which is this one right here. Okay, so we have a total of 48 positions, which include a hopefully those two latest. Just see what we got going on here. It's still fairly new. So it looks like for some reason it's not sorting it as it's supposed to. I can quickly fix that. So I think we want to descend, sort. Yeah, here, let me just sort the data. We want column B, and then descending. No, sorry, we got to do it the reverse. Ascending. There we go. Okay, so everything's all sorted as we want. So that will not include the last two because it hasn't been added to the archives yet. So what we can do here is we can calculate. Now this is what I would typically do. Any other system that I would imagine works the same. So we have all our trades up to here for the 18th of September. So I'm going to do a summary. I can do a summary of two ways, which I've been using the rate of percentage. Yeah, let me just do this. I'm no spreadsheet expert. So it looks like it made a gain of 0.43 for that, and that's obviously not a full 24 hours because the system was not running for 24 hours. It's just on and off for a couple of hours here and there. Then we have the more active day, which was yesterday, which is here. Okay, and so we made 0.43% yesterday, which isn't too bad actually. So we'll do, this 19 starts here, and I posted this in my video yesterday on this total. Just forgot to do the summary here. Okay. So we need to do the 19th, which is this. Okay, so we're up 5.07%, and I've also talked about if you set a target of 1%, we would have probably made and cut off all the trading from that point on, we would have made 5.6%. So here, as of today, where the markets were down most of the day until the last few hours, we are looking at obviously a fairly big loss. So here we go. Here's our P&L. 0.4% on the 18th. We made 5.07 on the 16th, and then we lost 7.43. So this is where you got to go your thresholds each day, and depending upon how and what is happening in the crypto asset class space. So typically what I'd probably allow on a good day, maybe close your strategy at either 1 or 2%. So there's that. Here's an easy decision. We know if I showed you the previous log and it stopped here, you would have been up 5.6%. But then you get into this scenario. So again, when you take your profit daily, 1 or 2%, and shut it off and not worry about it because you just care about your daily goal. You want consistent profit, so you want to remove all emotion, which includes fear and greed. So if you know the markets are still up, do you take the risk with a 5.6% profit that you attain for the day, or do you just shut everything down, protect it, or do you continue even though the markets are up and still take on potential of losses? And if I'd done that, you can see here, I went from 5.6% down to 5.07%. Now here today is another big story, but more on the downside. So here we're down, and we're not even finishing the 24-hour period off, but we're theoretically down 7.4%. So if we set our daily up moves of 1, maybe 2% for the day on the upside, what do we take on the downside or allow? There's a couple of ways to approach it. Every day, as I said earlier in a previous video, you need to take on the risk to make profit, but at the same time, you have to allow potential losses. Now, here, if I'm going to probably put a threshold on the downside for the day. If it goes below 0.5%, half a percent, shut down the system just to safeguard the losses. Yes, as I said tonight, where the markets are up, we could take a chance and try to make back our losses, but at the same time, no different than in gambling, we can increase our loss at the same time. So it really all comes down to either you're playing a probability game or you just stick to your rules and your profit and just take hopefully a 1% daily target. Once you achieve it, shut everything down and wait it out to the next day, which could be midnight, meaning the next day, and then start up the strategy and say, okay, I made 1%, 2%. That's good. I don't want to trade anymore. I want to protect that profit for the day. And then at the other end of it, if you take on too many losses, once you have a system that's taking on more than, I would say, half a percent, if it goes beyond that, just shut down the system and hope that the system can make profit the next day and make that half a percent loss up the next day. And then you can also use as a factor is you can sit on the sidelines and just run this script here, the equivalent, and watch this at midnight. If you're going to reset at midnight, and if the markets are up with these kind of upswings, then go ahead, get aggressive and start trading, or just sit on the sideline, wait it out and see what happens for the day. And if you see the markets to get to this point, start trading and hope that you're going to be able to make a percent profit for the day. And then you can make up the half a percent going forward. So that's what I'm thinking of doing to keep it pretty simple, but it's really important to keep these rules in place and enforce them and not let the fear and greed kick in. And it's really important on any kind of algorithmic trading level, or even just as a trader, even as a human, I guess, or discretionary trading. So always keep this in mind, and hopefully this will help you out. Talk to you later.